The Stockholm Syndrome is used to explain the situation of someone who has been kidnapped and is kept under those conditions for a certain amount of time, and it has been used as a metaphor to explain the situation in Puerto Rico. The problem with that understanding is that it places us, Puerto Ricans, in the positions of victims. When you're placed in the position of victim, then you can identify someone who's been placed in the position of the predator, of the aggressor, but then you're expecting for someone to come and become your savior. That doesn't create the conditions for us to be in charge of our political destinies. We have to move away from that position of victims and become people who actually decide what is it that we want.
The effect of colonialism over Puerto Rican people has been one of identity crisis. We are not a nation state, but we are a nation. We are a nation without a state. Puerto Ricans are a Latin American nation.
Puerto Rico is a country, one of the only remaining ones in the world, where the most important applicable legislation is made by the legislature of another country without our participation. There is a judiciary appointed by the president and the Congress of another country that applies those laws in Puerto Rico. The citizens of Puerto Rico have no say at all in those decisions made by that other country. So it's a colony in the most classical sense.
I think the Puerto Rican paradox was best illustrated by a decision in the Supreme Court in the early 20th century, which declared that Puerto Ricans were foreign in a domestic sense. That is, we're foreign people because we speak Spanish as our vernacular, which is a foreign language. We are a Latin American nation, but we are domestic in so much as we are a possession of the United States or a colony of the United States.
We cannot have treaties with the United States because we are not sovereign, we're a territory. And as a territory, we have to go to Congress and plead and beg for things that would help the economy. That is not a dignified situation for a country in the 21st century.
We cannot say as a country that we have founding fathers. In most histories in the world, you get countries in which you can identify clearly founding fathers. And founding fathers are people who are willing to sacrifice, make choices, political and ethical choices, to do things, putting everything at risk, even their own lives. Contemporary political history in Puerto Rico show, in reality, our so-called founding fathers were never willing to take those risks, but actually were creating political conditions through which create a political project without taking significant risks. Colonialism is about not taking risks that countries all over the world actually take.
We're a commonwealth because it's convenient, not because it's doing anything good to us.
We are more like a benefit to them. They use us.
As a culture, we can't progress being a colony. We're constantly bombarded with all the influences from the United States, with all the media from the United States, with all the political terminology of the United States.
Nos han criado con eso en la mente realmente, de que Estados Unidos es nuestro papá.
Somos un país insularista en donde nuestras costas nos limitan y la única costa que existe es Estados Unidos.
Because of their policies and because of our status, because of the money they've poorly invested in us, we are in this economical and cultural turmoil.
Puerto Rico is now suffering from the same things that the United States suffered before being the United States as a colony.
El puertorriqueño sí, yo entiendo que se siente colonizado, pero el miedo a dependerse o a desprenderse de esa colonización nos lleva a permanecer en este estatus.